This demo is for the self-portrait you guys are going to be working on for your final. And what I want you guys to use is that large piece of paper that should hopefully have been grabbed in the commons area in the school. And if you do not have that, you can just go ahead, whatever used paper that you got. You have two options to do this assignment. You can use a mirror if you want to look at yourself, or you can take a photograph of yourself on the phone and look at it. My suggestion is that you're always facing forward. Don't tilt your head or be looking to the side, or else this assignment's just going to be a bit more difficult. So I went ahead and took a photo of myself forward facing, and well, just so you guys can see what I'm looking at. So first thing you're going to do is get your head shape. Where is it going to be placed into the paper? How big does it need to be, etc. And I like doing that double circle method. I'm drawing my head, so you have that top circle over here that represents the cranium. And I also have the bottom circle that represents the jaw area of the head. And then after that, let's see, I'm going to go put this off to the side. I'm going to be looking at my jawline or head shape. And remember, when you have something curvy, you think of it as a series of straight lines. Let's see, I'm also going to figure out where half is. So if this is my chin, this is the top of my head. Where is half? Because remember, eyes are exactly halfway in the head. And I'm just going to double make sure that is halfway. All right, so here's my head shape. Again, series of straight lines. And I have cheekbones, or I have a very angular jaw. Let's say that, where it comes in drastically. And, all right. There's the bottom part of my jaw, then it kind of comes out, angles out this way. And if you're having a hard time with the angles, remember, use your pencil as a tool, match the angle, bring it over to here. Okay, so I kind of got my head shape down, my neck, nose about roughly right here, etc. Now I'm going to figure out where my eye spacing is. Remember, you make 5 equal spaces for the eyes. And I have very round eyes. There we go, there's one eye. But you make those spacings so you know basically how wide the eyes need to be in the face. Here's my eyebrow, another eyebrow. Everyone's eyebrows are a little bit different. Usually guys, their eyebrows are a little bit more furrowed. They're a little bit closer to the eye. And with women, there's usually a bit more space between the eye and the eyebrow. Not always, but usually. Okay, figure out the nose. I'm going to divide the nose or head into thirds here. 1/3 space. This is where the bottom of the nose is going to be. Divide that in half again, roughly. This is where my mouth is going to be. And I'm going to start breaking up my nose into 3 sections. Let's see, and I know how wide the nose is because it should be about as wide as an eye. So I'm kind of making this a little too big. But you know what? This is pencil. I can erase it if something is not right. It's not the end of the world if I mess up. And I'm thinking of the nose in planes. My nose is, I have a very long nose. And so the planes of my nose are pretty steep compared to other people. Anyways, I'll come back and worry about this in a little bit. Let's go ahead and start putting in the mouth. Let's see. Dividing it into circles, as always. Remember, the mouth tapers off to the corners of the mouth. Now, if I were smiling, my mouth would be a little bit more wider. It'll probably reach the out edges of the eyes, but my mouth is relaxed. It's not you know, making any funny faces. And when it's relaxed, it reaches to those pupils of the eyes. Okay, so I got the basics of my face going right here. I'm going to start putting in shoulders. Remember, think about your shoulders, that they taper off. They're not these rigid squares like this. And I imagine how the shoulders come in behind the neck. All those muscles come behind the spine. It's like a little mound, if you will, where those shoulders come in. Come up behind the neck and down. They're not square. Everyone's shoulders has a bit of a slope to them. And this is what I'm wearing today. I'm going to go ahead and draw that. All right, and now I can focus on my hairline. It starts roughly right up here. I've got a part. And I do my hair every morning. I kind of comb it back. The sides, let's see, I forgot about my ears. Okay. I can't quite see this ear right here. I think my head is turned slightly to one side. Remember, the bottom of your ear reaches roughly to the bottom of your nose, and the top of the ear reaches roughly, it depends, it's in between your eye and your eyebrow, somewhere around there. And everyone has a little bit of hair that comes up in front of the ear. Okay, and once I get the proportions down, the first thing is to get the proportions down. Make sure things, don't spend forever drawing a perfect eye and ignoring everything else, because what we'll find out is you'll have to move the eye after you've drawn it forever. Always get the basics down. What is the schema? What is the skeleton of the drawing that you started? And once I get kind of these basics down, now I can start looking at details of my eyes and what's happening here. Clean my line work up, that kind of stuff. All these little excessive lines that I used to help measure, you know, they've served their purpose now. I don't need them anymore. You guys are welcome to shade these if you really want to. I'm not going to stop you, but yeah. I have a phone call right now. Oh my gosh, how embarrassing. I'm just going to let them ring away. My phone is on silent though. Let's see. I need to come back and tackle the nose. Noses are hard. If you're having a hard time with the nose, you're normal. If you get frustrated with this assignment, you're normal. Let's see. It always helps me to shade the sides of the nose, thinking about those planes. I can just go on and on with these details and spend a lot of time on this. And this might end up being an hour video if I spend the entire time working on this. If you do want to add shading, some things you can think about where there's a lot of shade in the person's face. One would be this area right over here. Usually there's a lot of shadow, and there's a bone that pokes out in the skull in this area where it really lightens up. And of course, there's areas like under your eyes. You can think about your cheekbones. Whenever I look at a person, I think about their skeletal structure, this bone that you can't see that's under the skin. And when you look at a skull, I'm going to make this kind of creepy looking for a bit, but when you look at a skull, it dips in right here in the cheekbone, and usually you're going to see a shadow right here on people's faces, or even in the temples. where the bone dips in into the skull. Would be another place that you see shadows. Right now, this kind of looks creepy. Okay. So that's about it. With the assignment, all I'm looking for is proportions, accurate proportions, and looking for details that make this drawing you. What is it about you? Like maybe you wear your hair a certain way, or have a favorite necklace, or sweater that you wear. Maybe features that you find that really show your personality, whether if it's your eyes, or maybe you have freckles, or a widow's peak, etc. So that's about it. I'd take the time to clean up my lines on this. It's pretty messy still, like all these lines over here. I'll probably erase those, turn them into a single line. Every time I draw a self-portrait, I always think about my high school art class. And when 9/11 happened, we were drawing self-portraits. And I remember to this day what I was wearing when that event happened. I'll have to thank my art teacher for that. All right. Signing out.